on the sound of the sea, underneath the neon lights. Boom, 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 boom. You hid your blanket so high, you wish this day would come, 'cause I would, ooh. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Well, almost afternoon now. Everything looks good today. I done a lot of singing this morning. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's only because I've been singing. Hello, hello, what's going on there? VA growing gardener. All right. Peace, my brother, in my car listening. I never know they want to be in the car listening before. Be careful out there now. All right, we talked about gardening. I'm going to go out and give another update on my garden as soon as I get an opportunity to, because the corn looks incredible. And what I did find in my area, which is completely out of the norm, we found a deer, and the deer was running across a yard in the middle of the inner city because they're tearing down all their habitat in certain areas, so they don't have much area to roam in, so to speak, right now. So I'm thinking that if he's got a really great nose, which I have a feeling nature gave him all the tools he needs to survive, he may actually find his way over to my yard and find that corn. We'll keep our fingers crossed that he don't. That's going on in Virginia also. Oh, okay. It's here in Virginia too. Yeah, they're just tearing down everything and just going through. I say, hey there. Simply Southern Roots. All right, we got people in here I've never seen before. I really love it. But going back into what I was saying, it's hot as on the what outside right now. Well, it's not too hot. Let's see what the temperature is. Because a lot of times people say it's hot and it's really not hot. Is that hot to you? Is that hot? Would you call it hot? Would this be a hot temperature where you would stay out of the yard? Hey, how you doing? Greetings. All right, we got Nature Nine and family, and I went and looked at the video I saw with the corn. I wonder how often are you? I mean, when you have corn, how often are you feeding your corn? How often are you feeding your corn? And we find out how to. SMS the PC talking to each other. That's good. Good people know each other online. Everything looks good in my yard. Everything's overgrown actually. Everything's overgrown. My trees. I want to tell you. I'm got to be honest with everybody here. I am having some problems. Once a week. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Are you using a liquid fertilizer when you're doing it once a week? Fertilization, because everybody should have a fertilizing program for their garden. They should say, okay, this is a heavy feeder. What am I going to feed it? How often am I going to feed it? Okay. Nature Don said, VA, what's up, family? I mean, what's up? Let's see. Yeah. So you should have a fertilization program, and because I come up with all. Let's see. Your secret. uh, he said he's using my secret sauce. Okay. I'll say it like this. Look, let me tell you something about fertilizing. Plants love to eat like we do. I mean, and when people, they say don't give plants too much to eat. And I know you got to not overdo it. I got that part. But say laugh out loud, yes, sir. Uh, but you got to feed them because when you look at plant, it was a gentleman a couple days ago. He sent me some pictures of his garden, and when he sent me the pictures, it was of tomatoes and I think spinach and that sort of thing. So I asked him. I said, "Well, what are you feeding them?" He said, "Huh?" I feed them when I put them in. I gave them some cow manure, something called black cow. Uh, and when he said that, I said, "Yeah, but," I explained to him, "You got to still feed them. I mean, you talking about something that's a slow feeder, like a manure or compost, slow feeder. Put that in there. Let that be your base for feeding it. Let it be your base. And then like every week, every 2 weeks, depending on what you're using, you want to feed the plant. And when you feed the plant, you'll see the plant react. You'll see the leaves turn darker green. You'll see them start moving and doing something instead of just like this. Some plants are like this, and they don't move. You go there every day, and they're the same size. They haven't moved in at all. It tells you a lot. Have to do with your soil. It tells a lot what you have to do with how you're feeding it, where you planted it at. Is it got enough sun? Is it got too much sun? Is it too hot? You know, it's a lot of things could be going on with your garden. Now, and I haven't been in the garden since because I keep working, even if I get hurt. You know, I hurt this shoulder, not the shoulder, it's the actual shoulder blade. And I'm gonna tell you something. I pulled it, and it's going on like the third month now. This still like this, and I kept working, and I kept doing things, and I kept doing everything I was doing, and then I found out that I need to lay off a little bit. I thought I could stretch it and exercise it and make it feel better. No, made it worse. So what I'm going to do now is basically just not do so much. Now I want to go out there in the yard and I want to chop. I want to bring down those trees, you know, and get some work done. Really get the trimmer out and knock down some of the weeds and that sort of thing. In other words, do a quick chop and drop, because when you know, but it's going to require a lot of work on my shoulder. So I'm thinking, no, not now. Wait a little, because right now I can still feel it, even though I'm heavily medicated. So I should not be feeling pain, but I still feel a little. Yeah, I can still feel that. But you know, I mean, I can carry my own weight, but it's just that sometimes you hurt yourself. I guess you got to back up a little bit. Let's see. I'm only gonna have never had results like that. Oh my God, I have never had results like that. Now, you said never had results. You started using your secret sauce, or you've been feeding them once a week, or what is it exactly? We're trying to narrow this down so others can learn from you, because it's important that people get it out. Because I'm gonna tell you, I spent a lot of times when I was, start out gardening 21 years ago, going around in circles. Everybody was saying something. Everybody was saying things different, and every salesperson online that would show you these big, beautiful plants and these huge tomatoes would say, "Here, get this, get that. This is the only thing that will make them grow." And I would go, "I gotta get that. I know it's $42 to order it, but I gotta get it." Whatever it was. Let's see. Grand is a morning garden. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? All right. All right. I've got people in here that I've never seen before. I'm glad they're in here. Subscribe to the channel. That way you get pop-ups every time I go up. I had a young lady ask me yesterday. She said, "How come? Are you still doing the morning garden show?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "But I got to pick another day or something," because I said a lot of times I don't get people in the room. It's got something to do with maybe the conversation I'm having, or maybe I'm boring, or maybe it's the information they don't really need. That type of information needs something else, or maybe it's the day that I have it on. So I said, correct. The secret sauce. Okay, got you. Yeah, I'm just saying that stuff moves. You want food, man. See, the thing about it is, when I see people grow a garden and they don't get nothing out of it, really, I mean, they grow a couple of tomatoes and three pieces of corn, and they got to say this stuff every year that they get hyped up to want to grow something, and then they get out there and they're disappointed. Well, start from the basics. Can anyone out there tell me what the basics of that is? Can anyone? I just want somebody to help me out. The basics of everything that you're trying to do in your garden, the bottom line of everything that's important in your garden, that makes your garden great. Feed the soil. That's it. Feed the soil. You have to. It's not, well, I'll just wait till spring comes and summer, and I'll sprinkle some fertilizer on my soil, and my plants will do great. No, that is not how it works. Let me tell you what I do, folks. And this is what I do. This is just what I do. I fertilize my soil in fall and winter. When I go out there in the summer and chop and drop some stuff down, that's just extra. But I go and hit it hard all in the spring. I chop and drop everything, and I'll do that about twice, sometimes 3 times if the grass and weeds come back up. But I'll chop everything down and I'll leave it there. And what will happen is when spring comes, 90% of that stuff is gone because the soil is eating it up. It's eating it up. And when that happens, I'm a happy camper because I know that soil has that biomass that's needed to make that soil great. Because your soil can get worn out from planting each year in the same spot and you never put anything back in the soil. And then when spring comes, you put a little bit of granulated fertilizer down and then you grow enough and just enough of the tomatoes to come up and give you 2 or 3 tomatoes. And then you say, something's wrong. And then you watch a video, somebody have a plant with like 10, 12 tomatoes on one plant, huge or medium-sized tomatoes, perfect. And then they won't tell you what they did to the soil. They won't tell you how they're feeding it. They won't tell you what they're feeding it. They won't tell you how they're watering it. They will skip all of that, and then they'll try to sell you some product. They'll try to sell you a product. And I'll look at that and say, this is not how it works. You gotta take care of the soil. That is your greatest thing that you need to get in check is your soil. If you have to send out for a test and find out where you are in your soil, where am I? What do I need to do? And then they'll send you something. Hopefully, they'll break it down so that they don't send you something that's written scientific, so that you don't know what the heck you're reading and what you're looking at. Because if you do, you just lost your money. And it's so complex, and you call, you can't get nobody on the phone to help explain this to you. So you still don't know. But if they can simplify it and say, okay, send us the test, send us the, what you want us to test, and what is it you want to grow? And if they ask you that, I want to grow potatoes. And say, okay, this is what you need to do to your soil in order to give potatoes not what they want, but what they need. And that's important. Give them what they need. Plants need an environment to thrive in or fail in. If you give them the wrong environment, they're going to fail. Now, it's hot out there today. I want to go out on my property. I want to hack back. Hack is the word I'm using right now because them trees have gotten bossy. I mean, these are dwarfs. These are dwarfs. They're not semi-dwarfs. I can see if they were semi-dwarfs. These are dwarfs. And because my soil is so healthy, these trees are growing 22 and 23 feet tall. And when you look at the packaging, they came in and said, these trees will grow 8 to 10 feet tall. Yeah, in average soil. But when you got soil like mine, I'm always putting something in the soil for them to eat. I do my cuttings off of my trees. I cut them up in small pieces. I leave them right. I leave them right underneath the tree. Oh, thank you very much, Nature 9 and family. Thank you. He said, I learned a lot from you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I have go back to work. Okay, take care now. All right. He always lets you know when he leaves it. He always lets you know, though. But he will catch me at work. I mean, he will be at work and he'll catch the show. It was another gentleman that caught me. He was driving in the car, listening in the car. VA growing gardener. He was in the car. I said, no, be careful out there. Yeah. Peace, Nature 9. All right, take care now. Hello, everyone's. Oh yeah, and I do run across people who will use certain techniques that I implemented in my garden, and I'm glad that they're using it. But it would be nice if someone would say, hey, I got this from the Morning Garden Show. that would be nice. So people could tune in and help build the show. Because I don't mind sharing my information. I had somebody jump on me today over the phone. Older girlfriend I used to date, and she said, you should have been selling that information. You shouldn't have been giving it away because that's just not right. And I said, okay. I said, okay, I got it. So after I took that tongue lashing, I thought about it and I said, wow. I said, she's something. Hello, VA Growing Gardener. That's what you said, Jen. Hello to everyone's. Now I'm trying to hold in there. This shoulder is, as long as I sit up like this, it's giving me a rough time. Let's see. Morning Gardener. Your techniques, and sometimes I do videos. I tell people to get it from you. Thank you very much, VA Growing Gardener. Thank you very much. I'm glad that somebody's doing that. I mean, my goodness, that's a good thing to do. And there's some that do it. I got the bull that does it. You got that's not here right now, but he's probably somewhere, wherever he is, he's near his garden. And she is right, because they're contain TV channels, bunches, capitalization and skills. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We got people tuning in. I appreciate you for coming in here. Look at this. I got 8 people in the room. Woohoo! That's what I got to say. Now, I got some okra to put in the ground today. I was really disappointed in that burgundy okra. I mean, it's a weak plant. I believe once you get them started, they may do better, but they're weak. They do not have that stability like the one I've been planting for the last 7 years. Let me just say this to you. I bought a pack of spineless okra. And excuse me, spineless okra, $2.55 years ago at rareseeds.com. When I bought the pack, I kept thinking, wow, this is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Wow, it's a lot of money. That's what I kept thinking. And I started growing, and so I saved the seeds and saved seeds. Now I have hundreds of those seeds each year. I get hundreds of them. So even if I don't grow them to eat that year, I grow enough so I can get seeds. Now I had that plan for the burgundy okra. I said, I'm going to get some seeds from this okra, and I'm going to grow some okra of this burgundy, because this burgundy is supposed to taste good, supposed to be really, supposed to produce a lot of okra, more so than some other types of okra. So I said, I'm going to get it. But every time I get them started, they're so weak. They take a little bit longer to germinate. When they germinate, then the plants are skinny, and I'm like, okay. And I know I'm doing the right thing because I'm growing the spineless okra right next to it. And they'll come up 2 days ahead of them and be off and running. So I still have a couple of the, I bought 3 packs of the burgundy seeds. None of them really did well. So what I'm going to do is a few plants I do have that are burgundy. I think I got maybe, God darn, from all them plants, over 100 seeds. I only got 3 plants left that are alive. So I'm going to put those in the ground. And when I put them in the ground, I'm going to put my compost around them that I make myself. And I make that I make mine out of everything. I put in everything. There's no rules to my compost. I don't do like that the books say, leaves and grass and leaves. I put tree branches in there. Sometimes I only cut them up. I put pieces in there that were 5 and 6 feet long. And I just dumped over top of them all the old compost, put them in layers, and then I put the, what else I do? I put them in there, and I poured my grass clippings over top of them. I poured my leaves over top of them. Now I got another big pile of tree chips that were dropped when I had the trees cut, and I asked them to drop, there, and it was, and then I thought about it later. I said, wait a minute, this this tree is full of ivory. So how are you going to deal with that? I mean, all this is ivy all through this stuff. So what I did, I said you get seeds from or vegetables, seedlings, watermelons. I I saved. Okay, let's say I said I bought seeded watermelons, and I saved. Okay, that's a good move right there. Save those seeds. Please save those seeds, folks. Please save your seeds from your heirloom plants. Please save them, because seeds are getting funny. They're getting funny now. Seeds are getting funny, and companies are starting to hoard them, and they're starting to produce a lot of seeds that don't produce true anymore. And there's a reason for that, I believe. But that's my thinking. I like seeds that you can put in the ground and grow it again. It's the exact same melon. It's the exact same uh, piece of okra or whatever you want. It's the same thing. I say greetings, all gardeners. Hello, how you doing, Mr. Price? And he's always been around these gardening chats for a long time. I've been watching a lot of the chats. My goodness. Um, oh my goodness. I mean, it's something. People are creating all these shows, and I just watch them because I want to see how much information out there is actually accurate. And when I hear people talk, I listen, and I kind of listen with the gardener's ear. And when I hear something that's right, I go, okay, that makes sense. And then some stuff don't make sense, and I just listen to it and go, wait a minute, why is he telling people to do that? Why is she telling people to do that way? You don't have to do it that way. It can be done many different ways. You could grow watermelons on an asphalt parking lot if you know what you're doing. I tell people that. People don't believe me. You could do it on a, uh, uh, like I said, you could do it on a roof. You could do it on, I mean, you could grow watermelons on your roof if you know what the heck you're doing. So it takes skills. You learn and you pay attention. But the most important thing you learn is what works for you. My lemon thyme is growing, blooming like crazy. Oh, that's beautiful. I like to hear that kind of news. Mr. Price gonna put some videos up one day, y'all. We're gonna stay on him about that. He's gonna put some videos up because we need to see some of this good growing plants out there. Let's see. I think you can grow anything if you feed the soil right. Okay, if you feed the soil right. Now, I don't. Now you add that right in right there. That okay, because people have done things like they give their soil the wrong ingredients, like Miracle Grow and things like that. They give, and Miracle Grow feeds the plant directly, and then it can salt your soil, and you don't want that to happen. A lot of fertilizers can salt your soil, but remember when you buy those bags of soil in them pretty bags, I call them those pretty bags. You know what them pretty bags are? They're the ones that have all them pretty big tomatoes on the bag, and they show watermelons. Oh, they're so easy to grow. They're just no problem at all. You just put the seed in the ground and walk away, and it's going to grow your watermelon. Yeah, if your soil is right. If your soil is right, it can grow like that. It was a gentleman that was online here, and he had watermelons growing in his compost pile. Because what he did, he chucked some old watermelons in the pile that were rotted or they popped open in the field. So he threw them in the compost pile. And of course, they're going to come up next year. Absolutely, they're going to come up next year. You're putting over 100 and some odd seeds in a compost pile. Now, something I did this year, and I'm going to tell you something, folks, I'm really excited about this one, though. I got the compost that I made. I kept for 2.5 years. I just happened to keep for 2.5 years. completely broken down. It looked like soil, it looked like black soil. What I did was I put the compost in a bucket, 2.5, well, about 2 inches up from the bottom. I drilled holes all the way around it, about 4 holes, about the size. The holes were the size of an ink pen. And I wanted to do that because I wanted them to have a reservoir of water that stays in there. And I filled the bucket up with just compost, no topsoil, no nothing, just compost. Put in 4 seeds, some more than others, but anyway, send them out later. I have never seen cucumber plants this pretty. Huge leaves. Can I get that in the shot? Huge leaves. Big, beautiful plants just starting out, but they are growing so fast and so furious. It just don't make sense. Now, on top of that, I added my secret sauce to it. And I started doing that on a weekly deal. Incredible. So all I'm trying to do, I might come up with something that I might put on the market. You never know. But I'm looking at it, something that if I put on the market, it has to work. I can't put anything on the market and it'd be just a bust. I did a fertilizer years ago that I tried to sell online and it didn't catch on. Nobody really bought it. And when because I didn't know what I was doing, the marketing to get the word out there. But the bags, what I sold was so, they were like 8-ounce bags of this fertilizer. And I sold one bag. I sold one bag out of all them bags. I prepped and got ready and put the labels and everything on there, packaging and all. And I sold it to this one lady. And when I went to the post office to see how much it weighed, and see that I did backwards too. I went to see how much it weighed. So I put a price tag on it. And then I went to the post office and all of that was gone. So I said, you been trying to work this hard and I just got 90-some cents out of it. I said, oh my God. So long story short, I sold the fertilizer to her. And she hit me back a week and a half or 2 weeks later and said that the fertilizer was making her plants grow incredible, that she could not believe how her plant was growing. And I was like, what? I said, oh my God, maybe I should keep selling this fertilizer. Because I knew what it would do here. But she had it in a different climate altogether different, like in Florida or something. So, wow. I'm just thinking of that because that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I had it all geared up. And then after I said, well, how is people going to buy fertilizer from me? I said, I want to bump the price up too high to cover the shipping, but the packaging, the shipping, the website cost and everything, I was like, I can't afford to do this. I said, I got to either bump the price up where it's out of people's reach, or just stop selling it. And what I should have done now, thinking about it, I should have bumped the price up a little. That way, some people still would have been able to afford it, and they would have said it's worth it, or they would have said it's not, and just stop buying or whatever. But I think it was a good product because I put a lot of care into it. I wanted everything to be measured correctly. I wanted it to actually work on a number of different plants to really boost them, whether it be tomatoes or peppers, so that's how but I digress. But I learned that if you give soil what it needs, the plants will take care of themselves. They will take care of themselves. And I love it, I love it because when you do it, when you take care of the soil, you get the soil extremely right. I mean, you could toss seeds out onto the ground and they'll grow. But a lot of us are dealing with heavy clay soil. Majority of the soil you deal with is clay. that's on the planet. It's clay soil. And when you have the soil fed well, I mean, I can go out there in my soil right now and grab weeds, and it comes right out of the ground with roots and all for most of the weeds. And you'll see worms everywhere. Some of the worms are sitting right on top of the surface, in between grass blades, because they just love the soil. They're very active. They're everywhere. My soil was not like that when I first started gardening 21 years ago. It was not like that. It was this dead looking brown, with like a grayish marbling in it. It was garbage. And when I first started growing things, it was enough to make you want to quit because nothing grew. Nothing grew well at all. You could put a plant in the ground and the plants just grew one or two tomatoes. And you spent all year and you thought, what is going on here? Then I said, let me go get Miracle-Gro. And I got the Miracle-Gro and I put it down, and the tomatoes and the peppers tasted metallic. I said, I can taste a metal taste. And I said, I don't want to use that. That can't be right. So that's all I got to say on that. It's not too late to rather than make say small batch. So okay, I see what you said. I see what you said. Do a video as to how to make the secret sauce and oversell instructions. Oh my goodness! See, that's why I say he said you could even sell the instructions to it. Now I never thought of that. See, people, when you get people in these rooms, you put all these heads together. People come up with some great ideas. I mean, great idea. He just said, hey, you either sell them smaller batches or basically sell them the instructions. You know, let's see, Morning Gardener and family. Oh, hello, how you doing? I haven't seen him in a long time. Playing in my backyard. Yeah. I tell you, my shoulder is giving me a fit right now. That's why I'm a little distracted right now. My shoulder is cranking up. Let's see. I am a tax expert and business development. So I listen to people ideas. Okay, I got to see that you into the business part of it. And I'll tell you the truth, a lot of us in this room, when I think about business, I would like, if I sold a plant that I know people will purchase, I would only sell that one plant. I would get really good at growing it. I would know everything there is to know about the plant, and I would sell it. Like if it was a grapevine, because I bought a grapevine that's called Neptune. It grows a huge white grape that's seedless. And I said, I got to have this. Put it out on my property. And one year I hurt my knee, and the weeds and the what they call them, the vines killed it. They covered it and just blocked it from the sun, killed it. Okay. But I was smart enough to know that when the fall comes and your grapevines go dormant, go out and do your pruning that you would normally do to your grapevines, but keep all the cuttings. Stick them down in a flower pot, and you ain't got to do nothing fancy to them. Just stick them in there, the side down that grows up, and they will take root on their own. They're very easy to root. Okay, so when I lost my main grape that I paid good money for, I had other grapevines sitting there growing. So I said, okay, take care of it. That way you don't have to run back to this online store and purchase this vine again. Same thing I did with my, it's called Isaiah kiwi. It produces kiwi on its own without a second plant. So I started taking cuttings from it, and I put them in containers and rooted them and put them in pots. And when I put them in the pots, um, those pots grew. And I tried to sell them online. And then one this lady called, you know how they do, you know, some of them. And she said, I'd like to buy some of your plants. I saw them online. I put them on Craigslist. And when I put them there, she said, I'd like to get 3 of them. So I said, okay. We set up the time and everything. She never showed. Never called and said, hey, I can't make it. Or I was just driving around, just having fun, whatever. And so that was disappointing. And I said, wait, but that's going to happen. Some people are going to do that. And some are going to actually come out and purchase what they need. So I think I'm going to try it again, because I think that I would like to, you know, like I said, grapevines, I have 3 different variety of grapevines. One I can't sell because I don't know what variety it is actually. And I have one that I saved the paperwork to it, kind of like having a dog's pedigree. So I have the paperwork to that, and then I have the paperwork to the other one that I'm telling you about now, which is the Neptune. I have the paperwork to that, so I know what it is. So, I mean, Neptune is a for some reason it grows slower than the other grapevines that I have. But I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, I gotta remember, I gotta pick some grapes today. Don't let me forget that, people. I gotta pick some grapes today, because I got some grapes out there. I gotta pick them before the birds get them. And they came up so pretty. And it's certain things. Experts grow grapes, and there's certain things they do to grapes that make them look pretty and big. Like a grape grows like this, like a triangle, like a pizza, and you pinch off the little small berries. Pinch them off before the plant wastes so much energy putting into them. You pinch those off, and you allow them to see. What state are you in when you got? I'm in Maryland. Yeah, I'm in Maryland. And you pinch the small berries off. And the reason why you do that is so the plant will waste all this energy on the berries you really want. Because you can leave the small berries on it, and they'll stay basically small, and they'll waste energy. Now, another thing, let me give you another piece of information. Sometimes if you're growing fruit on your fruit trees, you wonder why your peaches are tiny, why your apples are tiny, why you're only producing on your tree a couple of apples as opposed to having a tree full of apples. Well, your tree gets a certain age and starts growing all this wood. Well, you got to remove some of that wood. You need fruit-bearing wood. You need to keep the tree pruned in such a way that the tree will keep all of its energy going towards fruit as opposed to growing wood. I said, oh man, laugh out loud. Never knew that Maryland is a great state for vegetables and fruit. Yeah, absolutely. I have apple trees, plum trees, peach trees, cherry trees. I think that's it. Oh, did I mention pears? Pear trees. And you know, I grow corn, so this year I'm doing silver queen. But I really like what's that corn called? Peaches and cream. That's my favorite. And I learned that on YouTube. It was a gardener called. He's still on YouTube. He just don't make a lot of videos. God, what is his name? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'll think of it in a couple of seconds there. But he got me into peaches and cream, corn. I mean, you could eat that stuff raw. You can be a mini farmer market, and price of food is crazy. Now I'm with you. You know something? You make a lot of sense, because that's what we said we were going to do. My neighbor and I said we were going to do is set up a table in the neighborhood, and when you get this stuff in the morning, you go out there and you harvest. You just bring it to the table. You got your tomatoes, you got your okra, you got your spinach, you got your herbs, you got your grapes, you got your apples and things of that nature, and you sell that stuff, and it will sell so quick, because once people realize that you have superior product, they will buy it. Because I know when I first learned about organic food to buy. I said, wow, I said, this got to be interesting. Now, I'm talking to all these gardeners online on a weekly or monthly basis. I'm talking to all these gardeners, and they're trying, and some of them are getting it done. They're growing their own food. Aesthetics all over people, but selling it here and much more. Oh, okay. You're saying that. Okay, let me see if I understand you correctly. There's a group of people who have to be Hispanic groups that are selling food. Is what you're saying? They're selling their own foods. Because I'm the first I'm the first gardener in my little community here. I'm the first one. I started it 21 years ago, and people laughed at me, and they said, "Why are you growing food? Just stop being cheap and go to the grocery store." And I laughed with them, and I said, "Okay, we'll see." But when that pandemic hit, and it's still actually affecting food prices extremely uh, uh, harsh, But you got gas prices still being affected, fuel has been affected, food has been, everything's been affected by this pandemic. It's like now, I mean, whoever would have thought that a mask would cost as much as it did? What what I'm saying is that we do not see other black folks. Uh, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, true. I mean, because when I started in my community, which is primarily mostly African Americans in this community here, they do not believe in gardening. When you talk about inner city, they don't believe in it. For what? I don't want to do it. It looks like it's hard. I don't know. Whatever. It's maybe now the women say to me that they don't like the insects. Okay, they grew up in an environment where they're not, part of that part of part of life that they want to develop, growing their own foods. But what was different with me is my father came from the country years ago, you know, and he got me on it when I was just a little boy. And then as I grew into a man, I wanted to grow food. And when I purchased my home, the first thing I did was look for a house that had a backyard. It was not an option. It had to be a backyard where I purchased my house. And then when I saw this house with a huge backyard, I said, wait a minute. I said, I'll take it. That's what I told the real estate man. And he said to me, okay, are you sure? I said, yeah, let's do the paperwork. He said, would you like to go in and see the house? I said, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's exactly what took place because my thing was gardening. I had a bad problem with it for years. I say there is a market and three food major black communities. Oh, okay. I did not know. That's the new one on me. Now we have farmer markets that take place downtown under a bridge. Um, I don't go to it because the prices ran me out. The prices are, they ran me out. Yep. So that's how that is. I mean, really, I love this gardening thing, and I got my neighbor down the street into it. He's a man. He was like 72 years old. He don't look it. I mean, really, he don't look it. He looks like he's in his late 40s. Um, and I got another neighbor into it, but he gave up because he had deer and raccoons and everything eating his crops, well, his plants. And so he gave up the first year. He gave up. But I think I can pull him back in just by showing him that it can be done. Every year. I show him every year it can be done. Say, I have a big yard in Stone Mountain, Georgia. I said, once I figured out how to grow home vegetables and fruits, there will be. Oh, okay, okay. You got the right idea. You got the right idea. I'll give you a good example. There's a gardener that's online, and he had a lot of trees on his property. And I was telling him, these are trees. When they built your house, they just left there because they couldn't afford it. They didn't want to take them down, or they grew after the house was there because birds are bringing trees too. The thing about it is, excuse me, you could take those trees, cut them down, grind them up into chips, and then you got fertilizer. You got fertilizer all day. Uh, Grass makes great fertilizer. It's high in nitrogen. Weeds make great fertilizer. So right now, that whole ground out there is being fertilized by weeds and grass. Weeds are no longer my enemy. They are my friend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, gotta go. I gotta go. My arm is giving me a fit. So I'm going to go ahead and, so I'm not sitting up in this position much longer. I sat here for how long? Almost an hour. So we're going to do this again, folks. Just subscribe. Leave some comments on some of the videos I have up. I appreciate it. And we'll do it again real soon. Thank you very much. This is the Morning Gardener, and this is the Morning Gardener Show saying keep on growing. Thank you very much.